Cancer, welcome to your hopes, fears, and reality spread. It's a quiet night tonight. It was raining earlier and it sounded really good in the videos. I wish the rain would come back. You can actually hear the water slushing as the cars go by. Oh. Cancer. Oh my. Okay. So you're hoping to apply a new theory to your resources. So if this is a vocational spread or if this has to do with finance, you're actually looking to invest in a new idea, the new potential for something. Okay? If this is about a personal relationship, a friend or a family member, you are really hoping to put more time. Same concept, but it could be for a person. Like you're hoping to invest a little bit more of your time and energy in the hopes that a relationship will grow. So you're hoping for a return on investment, be this finance, be this vocational, be this a personal relationship. You're hoping to put in X amount of energy and have that meet you in the middle, or better yet, have them put in some energy and you put in some energy, and it just expedites from there. It really, really grows. But you kind of fear getting caught up in the whirlwind because this is like the card of like a long-term emotional fulfillment. This isn't putting a band-aid on something. Okay, this isn't like a small little piece of happiness where it makes you good for a little while and then you're just back to, everyday norm. This is the kind of joy and happiness that comes over a long period of time. Like when you look back and you go, "Oh, I had a great life," these last 5 years, it's not going about the day to day. It's actually going back over the past 5 years and being like, oh my God, I did really good, whatever that is. So this is like, think of it as a legacy of happiness, okay? So what you fear, because both of these cards are in the fear, you're actually shying away from this investment in fear that it might make you happy, which I know sounds strange. But to put it in example, if you've had a lot of toxic relationships, let's say over the past 5 years, you've dated 3 or 4 people, and it turns out that those people were dishonest with you. You know what I mean? When a new person comes around and they're being very honest with you, you might be skeptical just because you're used to so much dishonesty. That's the kind of fear that we're looking at here. It's almost like you're just so used to being tricked, you're expecting a trick. And you fear that if you see this person as not being tricky at all, that's just you missing a red flag or something. It's weird. I once had somebody explain it to me. They said, when somebody's never had a healthy relationship, they might turn down a healthy relationship just because it feels so different to them than all the toxic relationships they've had previous because they don't understand it. And that's what I'm getting in this fear thing. It's almost like you feel like you could get caught up in a whirlwind of this investment, of this, what investment that you want to make. And that scares the hell out of you because you're like, well, if it feels really, really good, what happens when the bottom gets ripped out? Because the bottom's been ripped out from you so many times before. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So the hope is to invest in this new idea or this new relationship. And the fear is that it's just too good to be true. The reality of the situation is deep down inside, you're flirting with this offer. Something way inside your gut says, do it. Give into that trust. But you haven't taken action yet. The reality is, it's still you debating between your heart and your head. And you haven't fully come out of hermit mode. Everything's still way deep inside. Whether you want to admit it or not, you haven't taken action on this at all. It's just a thought. It's just an idea. And you're flirting with the idea of trusting someone again. The devil in the inverse is kind of like giving up a bad habit but still having the urge to go back to it. It's like when you first learn something about yourself that you want to change. You really want to change it, but it's such a habitual thing that it takes an actual effort to change it. Because if you don't apply that effort, you fall into your old bad habits. Okay? And you're kind of stuck in that energy. Okay? So again, you're going back to this is the way things were. And deep down inside, you know that the way things are not the way things were. That's why this is still inside. So here's what I have to say. And this will hopefully make sense of the whole read. What you're doing, Cancer, is you're holding this current person in contempt for what the past person did to you. Or persons. So it's kind of like you're holding this current person or energy responsible or projecting what has happened on the past onto this current person. What happened to you last week, last month, last year is not this new person's fault, because I feel like this new person is a very new energy in your life. And if you expect to get the same outcome every time, you're just projecting it, and you will self-sabotage. Because if you're expecting it to end badly, you'll eventually project that enough that it will happen. So yeah, you can't hold the current person responsible for the past person's mistakes, Cancer. If you take nothing out of this reading, take just that. Don't ever hold the current person responsible for the past person's mistakes. It's just not fair. I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I'll see you next week.